Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Livingston again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to Asian History Month in the year 2025, I will be discussing a little movie that is very special to me, because number one, it's one of the few Japanese movies that don't deal with Godzilla or animation. Number two is that it's one of those movies that I saw in college for the Japanese culture and aesthetics class. So it's kind of important to me. That and the fact that it deals with food. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a man who likes his food. I mean, what guy doesn't like food? But this movie is so funny. They address almost every kind of food pun and food comedy that you can ever imagine. And this movie is just so damn funny. I would say that it's one of the funniest, if not the most funny foreign movie you're ever gonna see in your life. And it's free on YouTube. But the only thing is that I wonder why it's not available on Xbox Live, Xbox streaming service for money and stuff. I looked it up online and I can't find it on there. I can find it on Amazon.com, etc., but not there for whatever reason. Maybe it's so foreign or so old that it can be found on there. It's not modern enough for that. But it is made in the same year that I was born, so there's something special too. It was made in 1985. And it's pretty damn good for that reason alone. So it shares that with me and Back to the Future, among a few others, I'm sure. But this movie is really good. Now, they classify this movie as a comedy/western, which I don't know. I mean, the main character in there is played by Ken Watanabe. Yet the one from Inception and the guy from Godzilla. He's a Japanese national treasure in acting. I love him to pieces. He played a character called Gunny, and he's, how should you put this? He's like an urban cowboy, to the point that he wears a cowboy hat in almost every scene that he's in, and he smokes a cigarette, and even drives a modern day horse in the form of a big rig, and a Japanese big rig. Now, and then he joined the convoy at the end of this. And let's see here, he's more of an urban cowboy, but he's got a heart of gold in this movie. And he worked to help with the main character, Tampopo. I think that's her name. Played by Nobuko Miyamoto. I wonder if she's related to the guy from Nintendo, Mr. Miyamoto. Anyway, this movie is wonderful. Now, I wouldn't consider it to be like a classic Western movie, more of an urban cowboy type feel to it. Like John Travolta in Urban Cowboy, of course. But I wouldn't consider this a Western in the traditional sense. It's more of a more of a romance movie than anything else. Because there is a connection between Tampopo and Gun, which I'm sure is probably a Western relation to, six guns and stuff. So anyway, this movie is really almost magical in the presentation of it, and just so goddamn funny. I really cry. It's so funny, at least to me, because I'm a gamer. I understand references and stuff, and this is probably before all that came about. All the electronic devices and stuff that we use for entertainment purposes and frustration in some cases. But still, it's really damn funny. Let me just say that I don't know everything there is to know about this movie, all the production and stuff, but I think that it was made by director. I have director's name right here. It is by directed by Yuzo Itami. I'm familiar with his other works, but if it's as good as this one, he deserves a gold star. The only complaint that I have about the movie is it's a little bit too long. It's almost 2 hours long. And, yeah. So let's begin. So we start by looking at Tampopo. I'm sure I'm gonna mess up names somehow, but anyway, she wants to open up a ramen restaurant in, I think, Tokyo, I believe. Now, thinking about ramen restaurants in Japan is that they specialize in one type of food, that'd be ramen soup. I'm sure that they probably make other specialties, but mostly they focus on just ramen. And they be pretty good at it too. If they don't, they go out of business real quick because of the competition for that one niche market. Ramen's like a big deal for them in Japan. It'd be like if, let's say, McDonald's or White Castle were to focus on just one item, like chicken nuggets or sliders, for example. They have to be pretty damn good for them to keep up with the Joneses and keep up the competition and make money. So they have to be pretty good with it. Until, Tampopo doesn't realize that, it's gonna be that much work. But she first starts out struggling and stuff like that. Not only that, but in the film that I saw on YouTube, you don't have any captions in it, or at least not in English. They have them in Japanese. Yeah, thanks a lot for someone that doesn't know anything about the Japanese language except for a few words. But still, it's enough motion. Then there's enough emotion in the faces to understand what's going on enough. Now, it's also, let's see here, it's also, she's not that good at it. She's kind of in over her head, and she is described by most of the people there as, frumpy, not good looking, and, damaged or used good because she has a little kid for a son. No, I think this is being very harsh on the poor thing, because sure she has a kid, but so what? Who doesn't have a kid? What mother doesn't have a kid? In her life and stuff at one point or another. So I think that's very harsh. But then again, you gotta remember that in Japan, at least, there's a very, very big taboo against single mothers. Probably even more so than in America, which I'm from, of course. But there's like a big like taboo, like, oh, she made so many mistakes in her life. She's an evil person. She's a bad witch and all that. I don't think she's like that at all. I think that single mothers can be just as attractive as anybody else. So, besides that, she also looks like, what's her name, Ming-Na Wen, which is a big plus for me, because, obviously, I like Ming-Na Wen. And number two is because she played Chun-Li in the Street Fighter movie, so I always have a little association with everybody that looks like Ming-Na Wen is like Chun-Li. Not only that, but in the movie they actually have a waitress that looks, that had the same moon buns as Chun-Li does. So that's really kind of funny in itself. And of course she presents food to someone, so that's even more of a plus side for me. But to say that she's old and frumpy is wrong, because she's clearly she's a woman that's like in her 30s or 40s at this point in her life and career. So to say that you're useless because you're old and you're past your prime and stuff, it's really kind of wrong and misogynistic. So I don't like that opinion about women in general. But let's see here. But if she's opening up a restaurant for herself, she got spunk as far as opening up her own business. She's going to be an entrepreneur. And second of all, the woman can cook. It takes a little bit of time, but she can cook. She has the willingness to cook. She likes to cook, so. So, that's a big, big plus for men. The woman that likes to cook and cooks well and enough that she enjoys it so much that she wants to share with the world is a big plus. Very, very, very attractive. And she busts her ass too. So then, his name, Ken Watanabe, Gun's character, along with his buddy over there, go over to the place and they see that she's struggling. And like an angel, he helps her out. And even to the point that there are some ruffians that want to come in and rough up the joint and destroy the place and probably do unspeakable things to her. So, they come in, they try to roughhouse the place, and Ken Watanabe beats the living shit out of them, which is the right thing to do. Regardless of whether the person in the place, running the place is hot or not. It's the right thing to do. And, I like this scene a lot because it shows that there's, that the Yakuza aren't the only bad guys in town, because we always associate the organized Yakuza with the Japanese mafia, which they are very, very bad. Probably worse than I can imagine. But it's nice to know that they're not the only gang in town. Just like people always associate ramen and sushi with Japan. Of course, they're national dishes, but still, they're not the only thing in town that people make. There's sushi, ramen, tempura, and other unspeakable things that I can't think of, like uni, puffer fish, and other delicacies that I can't wait to try myself. But anyway, as a reward for helping her out, defending her against these bad guys, which we never speak from again, we never hear from again. He go over there and he has to, and she invites him over to her own personal kitchen, beside making food for him and stuff in the restaurant. It's kind of a almost sacred thing for a woman, an entrepreneur, a chef, to invite someone over to her own kitchen, make food for him, on her own time. They get talking about making the business into where it should be at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. So it's really funny that he tries to help her out with this. I have no idea how he knows about all this, being a trucker and all that, but it's nice to see that he's willing to put any time and effort to help her out, and probably her son too, with bullies and stuff in school. So, this is really funny because when you look at a training montage, like you would see in like a Rocky movie, or say a game Punch Out with Doc following Little Mac on the bicycle, and it's real funny because she actually lifts the big heavy pot for boiling water, and she puts it on the side, and then she takes that and puts it back on the stove, and she does this multiple times. It actually reminds me of when Rocky is punching that big slab of meat in the meat locker. And of course it's to get her into the muscle memory of doing all that stuff, as well as buffing her up more to be able to handle that kind of thing, because she's all alone and doing it by herself pretty much. But the funny thing is that when he's actually following her on a bicycle, and she's over there with the sweatsuit on, just like Rocky, just like Little Mac. It's really funny. I mean, I expected for them to do the running up the stairs, and say, "Yeah, I am the champion. Yeah." that was I would have lost my shit if that happened. But in any case, when after they run, they stop to see a few Japanese businessmen. And these guys go over to another restaurant, a fancy restaurant, for their own meal. And it was funny that these men are obviously they're really rich and powerful and things like that, but they're a little bit unrefined in the fact that when they eat their own ramen at this place, they end up slurping it. Now, I'm not too about etiquette myself, but I know that that's a big no-no, especially when you're in the presence of ladies. But it just so happened that at the time, young ladies are getting trained by some hoity-toity rich woman how to eat ramen properly. How to eat it without making a big noise and without making a big fuss over it. The ham, the pasta, everything looks so damn good. I swear to God, it looks so good. I felt like eating ramen right then and there, watching these people eat this wonderful meal. So anyway, they show this these girls eating properly, like real gentle women, you know, eating it gently and slowly and stuff. And then they see these guys over there eating, like pigs, pretty much, like flipping the noodles, like eating real fast, and just making big ruckus. And this teacher is really starting to get annoyed by it, because she sees that. But in Japanese tradition, a teacher can't say to a businessman, knock it off. I'm trying to teach these girls how to eat properly. So she gets really annoyed when the girls actually start following the businessman example. Because they eat like a sloppy, noisy mess of themselves. And it's just so hilarious seeing them monkey see, monkey do, right? So then, there's also, besides all this comedy bit in there, there's also a bit of tragedy and a bit of comedy in it too. And I'll get to those in a minute too. Tragedy and creepiness too, I mean. So, anyway, there's this one part where this girl and this guy, and the guy is doing the man in the white suit, and the woman in the white suit loves that guy, girlfriend or wife or whatever. And it's real funny because they show her topless, of course, and they're about to get sick to chime in. And we all know that there's sometimes there's food that can be sexy, like bananas, cream, eggplant, so on and so forth. But it's really funny because the guy his erotic behavior ends up squeezing a lemon onto a ruby and putting salt on it and then licking it off, sucking it off. So, and this got me wondering, is that really sexy? Should I do that for myself? Should I put salt and lemon on my breast and then have people, never mind. So anyway, that was really funny. And of course they have the part where they have whipped cream and stuff doing that. And then they show her with doing something sexy like this. So all the things in this movie got kind of erotic. But no, it's just her face, her mouth, because we see her eyeball there. So I'm like, thank Christ. So if you're okay with a little bit of nudity, a little toplessness, that's fine. But later on in the movie, they show the same couple, I never heard this, and I'm sure nobody else either. I'm sure no one heard the lemon thing either. I've heard a body shots, but that's a little ridiculous. But anyway, they show them playing with egg yolk, and they crack open the egg yolk very erotically, and then the guy puts it in his mouth, and then they put like hot potato between the two of them. So yes, you extend this thing like erotic hot potato, like bomb type thing, and the girl ends up chopping on top of the egg yolk, making it explode in his mouth. And we all know where that comes from. And yeah, that's it with that. That's hilarious. Now also, there's a part in the movie where this guy, this next part kind of reminded me a little bit of my mother But then it gets very creepy and very wrong with him. So anyway, this guy is on the beach over there. We're past the beach there, and he sees a little girl, a young person. I'm assuming it could be a woman or it could be a girl, or because Japanese women, they can look young. So I'm gonna give him a pass for that one. But she looked younger than him, definitely. And she's over there circling oysters right off the beach, which actually reminded me of my mother, because she used to tell me that when she went to Italy, she used to eat sea urchins raw from the beach. They would really catch them off the beach and eat them for themselves. So, it reminded me of that, but she wouldn't eat sushi. And, that was even fresher than sushi in my opinion, because you eat it right off the beach, you're cutting it right there from the bacon, and eating the insides. Like, you eat that, but you don't eat sushi. So I don't get how I get that. Also, with the other woman, with the one with the lemon boob, she would, they had a part where they had live shrimp in the room there, and he put them in a bowl, and she would, and they would put the bowl on top of her body to tickle her. Now, that's something that a man should do to a woman if she's into it. But, yeah, in the future, that kind of thing will be considered like inhumane torture to put a live animal on a person that does it like that. In particular, rats, but whatever. I'll let it pass because it was funny and she was enjoying it quite a bit, actually. Now, I have heard of people having live shrimp in their food, besides in the movie Shark Tale. Let me see, right now. Okay, so my mother used to eat raw sea urchin that was still alive, pretty much, fresh from the water. So okay, this guy ends up eating trying to eat a freshly shucked oyster from this girl. And we all know that oysters are like an aphrodisiac. I barely cleanse, and then I gotta have them cooked a little bit. I can't eat them raw. I gotta have shell. So anyway, this guy ends up cutting his lip on the shell of this clam on the oyster. So the blood from his lip actually makes the oyster look more suggestive than what it already was. I figure, okay. So then the guy eats the oyster. Okay? And, they're like, okay, this guy eats an oyster in front of a younger person. So, then she ends up licking his lips. So it's like, okay, yeah, this guy has issues and stuff with doing this kind of thing in public. But the girl looks like she could be an older woman and stuff, so I'm gonna let it pass. So then we see this guy later on, and we see a markedly smaller child, like with this guy. And he actually gives the kid his own ice cone to lick. And then you're like, shit. I know what this guy is. He's a monster. He's a pedophile. He's dirty. And the young person with the oyster wasn't a young looking older woman. She was a child. Like, this guy is fucking disgusting. The whole fucking hell. this guy shouldn't be allowed to be around children or anything else for that matter. This guy deserves to be in hell and tortured by demons and whatnot. Or only if you want to be Japanese specific. So I'm like, this guy is really disgusting and really wrong. All that stuff. There's something wrong with the guy. Back to comedy. So then they have the girl Tampopo, as she's trained to become a sommelier or a professional restaurateur. So it's really funny that she trains so hard at it that even in her dreams, she's having nightmares about herself being attacked by guys over bad cooking. It's kind of like what you see in Black Swan, where you train so hard at something that you want to get perfect, you end up becoming that thing. And it's like really funny. But she ends up snapping because she realized that she just hunched over a giant cooking pot. And she just snaps and just runs out the door to the guy's gun's arms. So anyway, then you see, then during the course of the movie, she also destroyed the which she was making because it was overdone, I guess, chicken or something or other. And they also have this one part in the movie where she goes to other restaurants to find out their secrets and how to cook and how to be like a little machine as far as you do this, you do that, you do that, you do that for the mass people and stuff. And nobody wants to help her out because that's like a almost secrets to share with other people because they want the business for themselves. So anyway, in one scene, they show her like sneaking around with another person, like and they hide in her closet. And this really reminded me of like when they show in movies, they show a person that wants to be a peeping Tom, and they want to see someone getting dressed. They hide it in the closet to see their own little secrets and stuff. So she's over there in the closet, sitting back there, hoping she isn't discovered as she's peering through the crack in the door, and she sees the guy cooking and stuff. And it's real funny the way she's like hush hush. Let me hope I don't get caught. Let me hope I don't get discovered. So it's really funny in that he's doing this all for cooking secrets. Like I'm at like Japan's next big chef or something like that. So it's really funny. And she finds out the golden secret to making chicken, I guess. I guess that's what it was. So anyway, that's really funny, and she escapes obviously. In the end of the movie, she ends up becoming a great associate that everyone knew that she could be. And like whenever she made the food there, she also gets praised and all this from people. And the guy who calls in, or like all of his buddies and stuff, the hardcore truckers and stuff like that. So they know what they're doing. They're not very easily impressed. So when they're eating their food, she's like all like this and that, look at him with Google eyes and stuff because he's helping her out and her son too. So anyway, this is were funny. So anyway, they show this, and then they're like, when they eat this food, when they show them eating the food there, the hardcore truckers enjoy the food so much and they slip it down so quickly. It's almost like they have orgasms, like, oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god, your cookies are so good. I gotta get the recipe. And they're like so amazed by this, and she's like, oh, thank god they all enjoy it. No, besides being very creepy and very wrong about the guy from before, which thank God we never hear from him again. There's also another piece of tragedy, and that they cut to a random woman, a random family member, who's on a little deathbed with the doctor over there and stuff. And she's so enamored by the fact that she has to make dinner every day for her family. And even her husband's like, you know, you're dying, you can stay in bed for as long as you need. You can rest up, you can prepare yourself for death and all this. So you don't have to make dinner for us. But she's so entrenched, so trained by society that she gotta make dinner at a certain time that she ends up making the food for everybody. And she ends up making it for everybody, even though she quickly was dying and stuff. So she makes the food for everybody. Everybody's enjoying it, even though it's like a nervous liking. And so she'll put the food into the plate and stuff, and he's like, I'm happy now. I'm happy. I'm happy that my friend is happy. I'm happy that I served my purpose in life. And then she kills over right there. And the doctor and the guy, the husband, are like, they go check on her and they're like, she's dead. And it's also funny, well, not funny, but it's also quite interesting that right before she kills over and right before she's happy and stuff, there's a train that comes by and you see big wit like almost like seeing like at the light at the end of the tunnel, and you see them all with a bunch of people in their passengers and stuff. So then you see the husband looking back there, like, oh no, I know what this means.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, that's my change food. So anyway, they show they show this guy like really worried about his wife, and they show that this is like the end of her line, as it were, like my mother unfortunately said to us, to her doctor. So then she kills over and passes away right there. But I could view this as the train symbolizing a more modern version of Caroline, the guy that carries the souls from Greek legs into Hades, and more or less like the Grim Reaper. Like in the Twisted Metal franchise, like the Grim Reaper always rides a bicycle. Right, yeah, rides a bicycle. Yeah, he rides a motorcycle like in the Ghost Rider comics. So I could interpret that as the as a more modern Grim Reaper taking the passengers to the Japanese version of a paradise, and she gets on for a ride. And then she's more of like a zombie at this point, just going through the pieces of making dinner for her family for the last time, to be happy this one last time. So, that's a really good way to do that. Now, another thing too is that all during this whole training montage of her, of the Tampopo getting better with the food and whatnot, she's wearing a bandana over her head, like a handkerchief. This also reminded me of my mother, because during her chemotherapy and radiation treatment, she would wear that to cover her head, which, as anybody knows that went through that, the person loses their hair. So every time I see a person like that, it will remind me of my mother, even if they have all their hair intact. So that's like a little bit of sadness to me. And my mother even told me that she never thought of it that way, but I do, unfortunately. So eventually, he takes off the working woman's kerchief, and he dons more of a professional chef's hat, like on here, like a like a restaurateur type, big way poofy hat like a pop, and it's actually pretty nice. So anyway, you also have the part at the end of the movie where they show the man in white getting shot up. We don't actually see who it is, but I'm assuming that it's the same ruffian from the first part of the movie. And they show him being shot up, and then they show his girlfriend, all crying, all trying to help him out and stuff. Which reminds me of this funny part in the movie too. I'll get to that in a minute. But then they show this guy getting shot up and everything, and she's trying to help her out. And kind of think, when the guy puts on the hat, which matches this one, my own personal fedora hat, he said to the woman, in Japanese of course, but I'm just making it up, but I'm just saying, I wish I could trade with lime, and all the flavors that I miss with you, I wish I could trade you out with more flavors. Funny, I love a guy that can do that with ice cream, with vanilla ice cream. Not from that spoon, from 50 Shades Darker. I'm sure many other flavors of ice cream at least. So anyway, it's really funny. And the funny part in the movie that I just thought about again was I believe that it was the same businessman from the first part of the movie too, in which they go to the woman's restaurant at the Chumley hair bun thing, and the Tampopo's restaurant, which is named after her. My friend thinks that it was named after dandelion, the Japanese word for dandelion. So they show the guy choking on the food. Now, most people would go into a panic mode and then do the Heimlich maneuver on the guy's Heimlich maneuver. to pop it out of his system. But but she does something that I think would, if you did this in real life, probably make the situation worse. Maybe you cause some internal bleeding and stuff like that. But she ends up, instead of doing a helmet maneuver, when instructing him how to do this tough helmet maneuver, she ends up taking a vacuum hose, stuffing into his mouth, turning on the power, and then that gets the whatever he ate out of his throat. So that is really funny. But I doubt if that would solve the problem. It'd probably make it worse if you tried it in real life. So don't do that, kids. But yeah, it's really good. That part is really funny. I doubt if it worked out good for the guy, but she's lauded as a hero, and everybody loves her for it. And anyway, she gets big publicity from this. Obviously, you see someone, and it's obviously going to be good news for you. So so then it gets more popular. She gets a lot of people into the store, into a restaurant, and on the same level as past restaurant owners had in the past. Although none of the shared secrets get, no one questions that about her. Why she's so popular nowadays. So she ends up donning the Master Chef's hat, and can't want to not be gun in the movie. End up saying, my work here is done. So he rides off into the sunset with his big rig. He puts the hammer down, because we got a convoy to go. Even his best friend's like, what the fuck are you doing? Go with her. She obviously likes you. She obviously likes to give you the Google eyes. So, and she can cook and stuff, and he likes you. And you taught him how to be a man and, deal with bullies, and now he's more friendly with them and stuff and all this other stuff. So, you should go with him. But he just picks up his cigarettes and smokes and then leaves her. To me, he kind of reminds me of a guardian angel stereotype. Of an archetype of a guardian angel. About the person that needs him the most, and then when she's gone, and then when he fulfilled that role, he ends up leaving her. Wanting more, of course. So, I view that as very funny in this movie. I was hoping that they would get together eventually too, but I guess not. So, yeah. So, it was funny. And add to that funniness, you also have a cute little baby with his mama, and she was like breastfeeding him during the credit scene, kind of nurturing, loving, and all that. But again, it did the food, so it was hilarious to see that in the credit sequence. Could also be interpreted that the mother Tampopo was starting a new life for herself, and it was nurturing what Gun did for her and her son. Also, she had the nightmare about the people attacking her in the restaurant, which turned out to be a nightmare when she threw out the overdone chicken. So that was actually funny. So this movie was a damn light to watch. I enjoyed it. And right now, I'm gonna go eat my Chinese food because that's the closest thing to Japanese food that we got right here. And yes, the kid does eat, I think, sushi, which is real funny because they have sushi, they have dumplings, and they have ramen, and they have rice and omelet type thing, which is really, really tasty looking. But right now, I'm hungry talking about this movie so much. Thank you, Mr. Itami, the director anyway. Thank you for making me feel hungry all over again. And, I thank you for watching my video on Tampopo. It was real good. It was comedy and very good food porn. Very funny in that regard. Not for those who like to see women smoking or toplessness, but it was still pretty funny. It was in good taste, I would say. There's no mention or reference to any hardcore sex parts, so that was good. Anyway, which really amazed me that they would have this unUtubeable places for free. Cause you know how they are about nudity and stuff like that. So I'm really surprised at that. I don't know if they had that during the part that I've seen. I think they had that since that, but whatever. So anyway, I did this for Asian History Month, and in 2025, it was very fun to see it. It was funnier than I remember it, and the acting was really, really good too. It was really funny and really, really tender. Although I don't believe that I've ever seen the two main characters kiss, which is really something special romance or helping out without any type of romantic involvement. As such, I give my definite recommendation of a happy face sale bowl because you don't need to know Japanese. Well, it's a height between yes or okay in Japanese to be able to understand this. But I don't think that in the end when that guy died, I don't think that they joked the guy playing Sayonara, which was a missed opportunity in my mind. But this movie kicked ass. It was funny. The guy with the kids was creepy. I hope he dies. The character, I'm the extra guy himself. And it was funny with the porn. And when the guy passed away, not funny, but it was funny in my mind. And yeah, I like the happy ending that the girl got. And I'm very happy for her. And the guy was very much a trucker with the bull horns on his truck, which I always thought was associated more with the Wild West, with America, not Japan, but I guess they must put like the old horns on it. So yeah, if you guys like what you see here and want to see more of my videos, always you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. can also reach me for any information on my future stuff or any opinions of what I should do in the future by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. And you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at PMelsonPro. My email is jjviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, absolutely anyone with Japanese culture who likes comedy or who likes food, this movie is definitely for you. It's funny, it's got some romantic scenes, it's got some nice death scenes in it. It's got some nice, very good metaphorical stuff in it. Like the train sequence coming for the woman's soul. And it's got some nice, bittersweet moments. Like when she passed away after being happy for the last time. And then you see them all screaming at fly when the woman dies. And even the little girl says, "Mama!" Just kill the man, put a gun against his head, pull the trigger, and now he's dead. Anyway, that was a joke that I was gonna say for the Joy Luck Club. But I remember it for this one, so it counts. Anyway, yeah, good movie. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys at Interland. Ciao, ciao. Avia, and most importantly, sayonara. Now I'm ready to eat yummy Chinese food.